Alright, so we're going to make some spicy tuna steaks here. Guess you'd have to start off with the tuna, fresh tuna, wild caught, product of Indonesia. Well, sorry, what about American, but it's what they had. Well, we're going to open this up, and a lot of people get uncomfortable about cooking fish, and I don't understand it, because fish is like one of the easiest things in the world to cook. So you got your 2 tuna steaks. Got my Chile infused oil, Chile and Garlic Infused Oil, concoction I made. Put a little bit on there. Rub it in a little bit. Flip it over. Put some oil on the other side. Just rub it down good with the oil. Clean your hands up a bit. I like to use a little sea salt. A little sea salt one side, sea salt the other. A little cracked black pepper. I use the term a little loosely. Flip it over. Same on this side. Sea salt. A little bit more sea salt. Cracked black pepper. Keep in mind, this is a Chile and Garlic Infused oil that we rubbed on it as well. Something that I find goes good with fish just in general. A little bit of lemon pepper. Sprinkle a little bit of lemon pepper on it. I'm just going to do this on this one side right here. Flip it over. Do the other side a little bit, just lightly. Would like, put like fresh lemon juice on top of it, but I don't have any. And lemon pepper keeps well. So I'm gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes or so. Alright, we got medium heat going. And more like medium high. Get the non-stick, put it over it. Put a little of our chili oil on there. You can tell when oil gets hot because it'll start to change its viscosity. It'll get real watery. Like right now it's real thick looking. That's kind of thick. And we're not deep frying this. Just want enough to really coat the pan good. It'll start to have a shimmer to it, like kind of like it's moving on itself effect. You can see it right now. It's starting to look like it's kind of moving around on you a little bit, even though the pan's not moving. You're just starting to get a little bit of heat to it. Move it around a few times. They get nice and hot, but you don't want it to start smoking. A good way to tell is the striations. When you move it back and forth, you can see how it kind of like leaves a trail. Almost like a orange peel effect. And worst case scenario is, don't do dumping a cup of water in it, but put a little bit of water in your finger and splash it on there. You see how it's acting? Or you can get the pan hot beforehand, and if it's when it hits the pan, it's ready for the oil. But if you do it that way, as soon as you put the oil in, be ready to use it. So this is pretty much the heat we're looking for. I like to get these little spots right here where the rivets go through, because they're not non-stick, and it's a little easier to clean if they're coated with oil before they get hit with any kind of protein or anything. So we got oil kind of popping and everything. It's on medium. Got our tunas going. We're gonna put our tunas in. Our tuna steaks. Something a lot of people pay a lot of money for, but ain't no point in it. They're easy to cook. It's quick. Nothing to it. Do not have the pan hot, but don't have a hot temperature going up underneath it. You want it to stay high, but you want it to hit the heat and stay that way. You know, keep going. There's a lot of really good things that are going where that meat hitting that pan is well, that's where all your flavor is going to come from. You're going to get a nice sear and a good crust on it. That's going to be all the difference in the world. That's the difference between it being, you know, pan seared versus poached. I mean, you know, I want poached tuna steaks. No one wants poached tuna steaks. They want pan seared tuna steaks. Or watch how this turns out. Now you see how it's starting to turn white? You'll see that start working its way up the meat. When it gets to about the halfway point, we're going to flip it. And then we're going to let the two halves meet. And then the tuna steaks are done. It's that simple. Nothing to it. And you're going to be amazed at how fast this happens. It's one of my favorite dishes is cooking fish, for the simple fact that it's quick, it's good for you, a lot of flavor. And a lot of people just got strange misconceptions about cooking fish. You'll notice I didn't shake this around and move it around any. Just leave it alone. You know, manipulate the temperature to keep it from smoking up the house and everything, but just leave the meat alone. Let it do what it's got to do. You see how that white is starting to run up the side of it? That's what you're looking for. Right there. Now this is a perfect example of density and the way it works. For the simple fact that this steak and this steak are not cooking at the same rate. Some of that is because I'm cooking on an old stove top and the burner don't, you know, spread out completely evenly. Now I'm going to compensate by that by moving this one onto this side, moving this one to this side, and the middle part will be facing the outside part when I flip it. And what I mean by that is this right here. That over there like that. Move this over here like this. Because it's non-stick, use something that ain't gonna scratch the surface of the pan. And you got a nice hard crust right there. It's almost like knocking on a door. Now the pan's got some heat in it, and it's gonna, the pan's gonna keep getting hotter. So what you want to do is usually at this point in time you want to bring it down a little bit in temperature. Just that to not just destroy it, but you definitely want it to keep sizzling on the bottom like that. This crust is what they call the Maillard effect. Some French dude a long time ago laid claim to figuring that out. Is that a lot of unique flavors and stuff come from the caramelization of the sugars and everything in meat, and that's why searing makes things taste the way they do. It's almost basically a vital part of cooking if you really want your stuff to taste good. The steaks are just about done. Just a couple of minutes each side. Kitchen's starting to smell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this like any other piece of meat. I'm going to kill the heat. And I'm going to let carryover take over the rest of it. So I'm going to take it off. We'll try that again. And there's our tuna steak. Veggies, 2 plates. Now I'm gonna go eat them.